something from our very backyard, or something Soweto, oh mama boom tanda, so I just got goosebumps. It's music like this that we live for. Massive Metro, the station that is indeed rocking real and absolutely relevant this afternoon. Every single Tuesdays, we talk all things relationships, because relationships are a real thing and we go through a lot. Well, desperate groom robbed bank to pay for his wedding ring. This all happened somewhere in London. Good afternoon, Paula. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you. So grooms are robbing banks to pay for wedding rings, keeping up with the Joneses. How are you doing this Tuesday afternoon?
I'm well, thank you. No Joneses to keep up with, but I'm well, thank you.
That is good to know. That is good to know. That's Paula Quinsee on the line, our relationship expert for Show Without a Name, that comes through to us every single Tuesday, giving us that expert advice. So, Paula, we're talking all things same-sex relationships this afternoon. First of all, have you ever counseled a couple that is either gay or, lesbians?
Yes, I have. In fact, it's becoming more and more common, I would say, where same-sex couples are looking for help like traditional couples have been in the past.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So, as far as the same-sex, and what does such couples still have to face as far as stigma surrounds them in this day and age?
For South Africa, we're still a very young country where this is concerned. Same-sex marriages were only really legalized in 2006. So from a legal point of view, we're still a very young country that's concerned. And then obviously from a legacy point of view, a tradition and a custom perspective, there are different cultures and traditions that either frown upon it or look down on same-sex marriages and relationships. And different generations, the younger generation are much more open to it because they've been exposed to it a lot more than what older generations have. So there is still a stigma attached to it, not only in South Africa, obviously globally, but we are slowly starting to become more accepting of same-sex marriages and relationships.
Do you think the perception of same-sex relationships has changed over the years? And if so, why is there so much still bullying on social media?
I like to think that it is innocent ignorance in that we don't understand it. It doesn't come from our frame of reference of normality as what we are used to in terms of a relationship. So that gives us a sense of, I guess, curiosity, but we are too afraid to ask, to inquire, to find out, to understand for fear of offending people. So we rather make assumptions. And for some people, it definitely goes against the religious aspects, that it's a wrong thing. It's just not done.
Oh yes. Especially if you come from, a background where, certain things are quoted, or the book is quoted and said this is wrong and this is right, therefore they can't be X, Y, and Z. How do you, as a human being living this truth, is able to conquer that?
So I think that's the key word, is human being. When I work with same-sex couples, to me, they are human beings first and foremost. And they have every right to live their life the way they choose, and I have no right to judge them for that. That doesn't mean that I am going to conform to their way of life, because it's not my choice, it's their choice. So how can we just be accepting of, first of all, that they're human beings? Second of all, it's their choice, it's not your choice, and everybody deserves to be happy. So why can't we let everybody live the way that they choose to live if they are not harming anybody else?
Those are very good questions, Paula. That's Paula Quinsee on the line, the Show Without a Name, for speaking all things same-sex relationships. On the other side of this, we dissect and we go a little bit more deeper as far as this topic is concerned. Don't go away.
The Show Without a Name.
First time I got to know your love, I was sick. I thought your every song, I wrote every remix. There was something about you that was so sweet. You were so gentle in your ways, I had to keep you near. I remember Mama sending me out to go play. On the radio, I hear somebody both say. Couldn't help but listen to every word that they say. On the stairway to that night and made my day. Even though I was so tired, I understood the feeling that came over me. I understood that you were never meant to be. A time. I understood myself that thank you for choosing me. Get your love perfect, you see, something that you can't control. You're the only love I got. Get your love perfect, see, something that you can't control. You're the only love I got. Yeah, then I turned 16. Didn't know another teenager like me. I listened to the radio till the clock struck 3. Did you complain? It must have drawn an AG. Look at what you did to me. Look what you did, you put that soul in me. Can't deny I was so sister. Felt so good, I was so glad to meet you. She got my inspiration. Her soul became a motivation. Oh, you also light. And if I have to choose, I choose you again. You can't control. The only love I got. Don't be deep.
Hey, how so damn interesting. This the best thing, the Smith & Wesson. Made 1995, the shining bikini gets the reference, but that's the lesson towards Collide, Hyde and Jekyll. I know a verse for every vibe we share, boo. Like John 15, chapter 12, the Bible tells you, love each other as I have loved you. Got me thinking back to all the fire between us, telling me that we are mad too.
I won't speak so highly of you. I'm thankful for your love because it got me through. You put me together, always and forever. I would not know what to do without you. I'm so grateful for you.
Leander G on this one, featuring Soggy T, Lover for Life. 25 minutes past 2 o'clock this afternoon. Show Without a Name definitely does still continue on the Rocky Real and absolutely relevant Massive Metro. Speaking all things relationships, since it is indeed Relationship Tuesdays, and on the line I've got our relationship expert, Paula Quinsee, just weighing in on same-sex relationships. Paula,
yes.
So as far as, how do we make sure that we come correct in our behavior as society to ensure we all receive love despite our sexual preferences?
Yeah, someone said to me a little while ago, your sexual identity or sexual preference has nothing to do with your skills and your abilities and your competencies.
Oh, yes.
And so does it really matter at the end of the day what your sexual preference or identity is, as long as you are living a life that is true and authentic to self? And I think this is where society makes it difficult for people that fall into the LGBTQI spectrum to just be themselves, for fear of being judged or bullied and things like that. And so as in a society, how do we learn to be much more open and accepting and accommodating of our fellow human beings?
Oh yes, oh yes. How do we, Paula? How do we, as a nation and a society that is so full of anger, which is basically misdirected? Because at the end of the day, as you say, whether or not a person, it doesn't affect their thinking capacity. It doesn't affect the amount of work they can put through if they are in a same-sex relationship. Why is it still the need to so angry as a nation?
And again, I think it's because of stigmas that we've grown up with, not understanding what same-sex couples are all about, and because of the labels that have been associated with them in terms of promiscuity and, wild sex, drugs and orgies and parties and things like that, which is absolutely not true at the end of the day.
No, really not.
So I would like to encourage both, social circles, communities, organizations to create a safe space for conversations to happen, where we can ask questions to gain understanding, to give us compassion, empathy, and understanding versus judgment.
Oh, yes, I was about to say versus judgment. That's Paula Quinsee coming through with really sound advice as far as relationships are concerned. Paula, are we seeing you at the Massive Fives at Discovery Park on Friday?
I would love to be there, but I have to be somewhere else, unfortunately.
Had to put you on the spot.
You did.
Nonetheless. Social media platforms, where do people find you as far as getting this sound advice and just knowing exactly, where to go as far as speaking to someone, getting counseling, etc., etc.?
Yeah. So I'm on all the social media platforms. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also on my website, paulaquinsee.com.
Thank you so much for contributing. We really appreciate your sound advice every single Tuesday. That is indeed Paula Quinsee coming through and weighing in on same-sex relationships.